Welcome to our channel. Today, we are exploring the science of metabolic flexibility and how to train your body to burn fat again. I'm thrilled to be joined by Dr. Titan, a leading specialist in metabolic health. Doctor, thank you for being here.
It is a pleasure to be here. This is arguably the most critical topic in modern preventative medicine.
Let's dive right in. We hear people talking about metabolism all the time, usually complaining that theirs is too slow, but you're talking about metabolic flexibility. What exactly is that?
Think of your body like a hybrid car. A hybrid can switch seamlessly between using gas, which represents glucose or sugar, and electricity, which represents stored body fat. Metabolic flexibility is your body's cellular ability to switch between burning glucose and burning fatty acids based on availability and demand.
When you eat, you burn the incoming energy, glucose. When you haven't eaten for a few hours, or when you are exercising at a steady pace, a metabolically flexible body should effortlessly switch to burning its stored fat. Unfortunately, most people have lost this ability. So if we aren't flexible, we are essentially stuck using the gas engine. We're just burning sugar all day?
Precisely. This is what we call metabolic inflexibility. The body becomes dependent on a constant stream of dietary carbohydrates to function. When that sugar runs out, instead of tapping into the tens of thousands of calories of fat stored on the body, the person experiences a crash, brain fog, irritability, and hunger.
This is not a fringe issue. A landmark study from the University of North Carolina revealed that only 12% of American adults are metabolically healthy. That means a staggering 88% show signs of metabolic dysfunction, ref. UNC Gillings School of Global Public Health study.
That statistic is terrifying. 88%? So almost everyone listening to this right now might be struggling with this. Why is this happening? What is the biological mechanism blocking us from our own fat stores?
The primary culprit is insulin. Insulin is a storage hormone. When insulin is high, it acts like a one-way valve. It pushes energy into cells, but locks the doors to fat storage. You cannot burn fat in the presence of high insulin.
Because of our modern diet, frequent eating, high ultra-processed carbohydrates, our insulin levels are chronically elevated. This leads to insulin resistance. The cells stop listening to the signal, so the body pumps out even more insulin, trapping you in a sugar-burning cycle. Ref. Diabetologia. Okay, so we have a hardware problem. We've gummed up the engine with too much fuel too often. Let's talk about the solution. I know you focus heavily on the mitochondria. Why are they so important here?
The mitochondria are where the actual burning happens. They are the power plants. Here's the crucial nuance. Glucose can be burned outside the mitochondria or inside them, but fat can only be burned inside a healthy mitochondrion via a process called beta oxidation.
If you have poor mitochondrial function or low mitochondrial density, you physically lack the machinery to oxidize fat efficiently. You are forced to rely on glycolysis, burning sugar, because it's a simpler, albeit less efficient fuel source. That makes sense. It's like trying to run a factory with half the machines broken. You mentioned we can train our body to fix this. Let's talk exercise. I assume I need to run as fast as I can to burn the fat off.
Actually, that is a common misconception. High intensity has its place, but to rebuild the metabolic engine, we need Zone 2 training. This is steady-state cardio performed at a conversational pace, where you can speak, but it feels slightly strained.
In Zone 2, the intensity is low enough that the body doesn't panic and demand quick sugar. It has the time to mobilize fat and bring it to the mitochondria. This specific intensity stimulates mitochondrial biogenesis. You actually grow more mitochondria. Ref. Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise. Wait, so going slower helps me burn fat better? That feels counterintuitive. I always thought no pain, no gain.
It is slower to go longer. If you sprint, you spike lactate. Lactate inhibits fat breakdown. When you train constantly at high intensity, you are actually training your body to be a better sugar burner. To burn fat, you must train the fat-burning pathway specifically.
Top endurance athletes spend 80% of their time in Zone 2 to build this massive aerobic base. It makes them incredibly efficient at clearing lactate and burning fat for hours. We need to mimic that ratio.
Okay, so Zone 2 builds the engine. But is there any room for the high-intensity stuff, like HIIT, high-intensity interval training, or should we ditch it?
Expert. HIIT is excellent, but for a different reason. High-intensity intervals are great for rapidly depleting your glycogen stores, the sugar stored in your muscles. Remember, a full tank of sugar prevents fat burning.
By using HIIT to empty the tank, you force the body to ask, where is the next fuel source? It increases insulin sensitivity because your muscles become hungry sponges, screaming for glucose to replenish what was lost, pulling it out of the blood rather than letting it turn to fat. Reference Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science in Sports.
So the protocol is Zone 2 to build the fat-burning machinery and HIIT to empty the sugar tank so the machinery can start working? That's a powerful combo. Now, what about the kitchen? Can we eat our way to flexibility?
Absolutely. You cannot out-train a diet that keeps insulin constantly spiked. This brings us to nutritional timing, specifically intermittent fasting or time-restricted feeding.
When you stop eating for 12 to 16 hours, insulin levels drop to their baseline. This drop is the green light for lipolysis, the release of fat from adipose tissue. If you never go more than 4 hours without eating, that light never turns green. I've tried the 16-8 method, fasting for 16 hours, eating for 8. It was hard at first, but then I noticed my energy levels actually steadied out. Is that the metabolic switch flipping?
Exactly. That hard period was your body struggling to find fuel because the sugar was gone and the fat pathway was rusty. As you adapted, your enzymes for fat oxidation upregulated. Data shows that time-restricted feeding creates metabolic flexibility independent of weight loss. It improves glucose tolerance and lowers insulin, ref cell metabolism.
So, we have a clear roadmap. Zone 2 cardio, occasional HIIT to deplete sugar, and time-restricted feeding to lower insulin. It sounds simple, but obviously it requires consistency.
Expert, consistency is key. You are retraining your biology. We are evolutionarily designed to be metabolically flexible, to hunt on an empty stomach and feast when successful. We just need to remind our bodies how to do what they were built to do.
Dr. Titan, this has been an absolute masterclass. For everyone watching, don't just accept the slow metabolism fate. You can retrain your engine. Doctor, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Keep moving and keep those mitochondria high.